Welcome to another video where I play with Denise's beautiful palette, Earth Blended palette put together by her and DaVinci. And I unboxed this set, and one of the things I said, which may or may not be true, is that you can just open the box and paint. I said this because the paints come unwrapped, they look nice and shiny, ready to use, and you also get this swatch where you can see all the colors. I personally like to swatch all my colors and do several exercises to get to know the colors a little bit, to see how they mix, how they spread, how they work together. But this is a sketch I'm going to color in today, and we'll see if I can stay by my statement and you can just open this box and do something pretty with it. So my watercolor skills are very basic. I watched several videos, I read a few books, and I cannot really say I understand how watercolor works or what you're supposed to do. I don't think there's a recipe for it, and I think every artist discovers their style and their techniques that work for them. What I'm gonna do for this particular painting, I'm just gonna wet my surface first. I'm gonna start with these orange flowers and see what happens. I'm just gonna wet all of them. And since Denise's least favorite color is orange, I'm gonna see if I can get a bright orange using the color she offers, the reds and the yellows, and maybe use the quinacridone burnt orange as a shadow color. So these are my flowers, all wet, at least the orange ones. And this is the moment of truth. This is the box. And I have not even sprayed my pans. I know some artists like to spray just to activate the paint. But I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna start with this beautiful Hansa Yellow Deep. And I know that if I mix this with the red, I should get a pretty orange. And as you can see, I just dropped some water on my pan, and there is, as soon as I move it just a little bit, you can see some pigment already in my brush. And this is, by the way, is a Princeton Neptune round number 6. So I'm just go randomly and just drop it in wherever I feel like the flower would be a little lighter. And that's another tip or trick, or however you like to call it, I picked up, is to use warm colors for the areas that are in the light, and then cool colors for the shadows. And I'm probably gonna get quiet in some of this drawing, just because can be very easily impressed and distracted by the whole process. And sometimes I have to think about what I'm doing. So I got my yellow down, and as you can see, I got it straight from the pen. I didn't make a puddle as you're supposed to do with watercolors. And now I'm gonna get some red to make my orange shade, and I think I'm gonna try this DaVinci red, and let's do puddle with this one. As you can see, I have not even washed or primed my box. I know there's certain things you're supposed to do before you start working with a pan, so you get those nice puddles and not the beading. But I'm a beginner, so I go by that excuse, and I'm so excited to use these colors. So I got this, it's a beautiful red, kind of a primary red, and I think it would be too dark to put straight on my orange flowers. And I decided to warm it up even more with this yellow gold ochre, which is this box. And again, the paint picks up very nicely. You touch it just with a little bit of water. And here it is, all on your brush. Let's see how these two colors mix. So I got almost like a burnt orange. It's a beautiful fall color. I think it would look good with my yellow that I have down. But as of right now, I feel like it's a little bit too much on the yellow side, and I wanted more of a cool orange. So I'm going to add a little bit of red rose. Why not? Red rose deep, and it's this color right here. And again, I'm just touching it with a little bit of water, fresh new paint, and it's already picking up in my brush. And you can see better with a lighter color than with this. And this is a beautiful shade. This is exactly how I remember the flowers. It's more on the red side in my actual flowers, but I think once I put it down and let it mix on the paper with the yellow, it should be just the right kind of color. So I'm going to wet again some of the areas that I left white. I'm going to pick my mix and just drop it in. And I'll let it spread. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not a perfect painter. I like to watch Anna Mason's videos, and I'm so impressed with her skill and her talent. But I don't have the patience. I'm not that kind of artist. I try to, but halfway through a painting, I just call it a day. I like how it looks and stop. So if you have the patience and if you like the look of those paintings, I like the look, but I don't have the patience to put them together. So these are my flowers. They look about like what I remember. I think the yellow, it's a bit too yellow. However, I like the look. I'm gonna let them dry and then come with darker color for my shade, because right now I feel like the colors are kind of spreading out nicely, so I'm not gonna mess with it too much, although I think here I would like a little bit more orange. I'm gonna pause here for a little bit, let it dry, and I'll come back to show you what I'm doing next. And while my orange flowers are drying, I'm going to start working on this roses that I sketched on this side of the painting. And they had more of this aerolite yellow color. I'm going to keep my box here. Hopefully I'm not going to cover my drawing as I go. And this is one of the tips Anna Mason gives you to start and put a very, very pale wash. That will be the lightest value of your color. And here I touch it a little bit, and a little bit of this red is migrating in this rose, but I'm okay with it. I'm gonna let it do whatever it wants. I'm getting a little bit more yellow for this rose, and I like bright colors, and I like to work fast, so usually using layers and layers of color, it's really not my thing. And for some reason I tend to overwork my paintings, and you can see this red mixture moving. So this paint, this tells me this pigment is pushing away other colors, And you can easily fix it, getting some water on your brush and gently washing it away, kind of like so. The second thing I want to work on, the third thing actually, is some of the leaves. And I'm really excited about this because you all know Denise has put together her own green. We have Denise green right here. And to me, this, it's almost the color of rose leaves. And then you could probably hear my cat needing my attention. So what I'm gonna do to paint the leaves, I'm gonna start by watering all my rose leaf, and here's where I'm gonna play with a beautiful green put together by Denise. And I want to show you how easily this color comes out. This is a brand new paint, never been wet, all nice and shiny. A drop of water, and here it is on my paintbrush. Oh yes, this is very beautiful green, very close to what I think is a rose leaf green. It moves some, but not a lot. But then I'm not the best judge of colors. And personally, I could leave it just like this. But what I like to do when I paint leaves is create some variation by dropping in another shade of green or a little bit of blue. And these are all sorts of leaves, and I haven't kept a, usually I take a photo as a reference photo, but I haven't done this time. But I feel like I need just a little bit of darker green. And again, my colors are moving into each other, and that's okay. I kind of like that in watercolor because it makes the painting more together. It connects all my elements. And now I'm back and I'm trying to figure out where to go next. I'm thinking I would like to try the perling green. I heard about this perling green talk about especially the Daniel Smith perling green, and I'm curious to see. I don't have Daniel Smith perling green, and I'm curious to see how this compares to Daniel Smith, since it's much praised. Again, you can tell because I didn't prep my palette. My color is beating up, but that's okay with me. And I do have a Sennelier forest green that's very, very similar to this. So that will be very interesting when I'm making my swatches to compare. I feel like it has a more, I expect it to be a little bit more neutral, and it has a more of a green color to it. I'm going to try it right here on on these leaves. And this, I'm just gonna leave them dry and see if I can apply the color. It's a very beautiful green. It definitely is towards a blue. It has a blue undertone. This is a watered down version. I'm trying to get more paint. It can get really dark, almost as close to black. To me, it kind of reminds me of a Prussian green more than anything else. It is more neutralized, but it's very, very pretty. So what I'll try to do, I'm just using pure color, coloring in my leaves, going around what I've already colored. And you can see here how this Denise's green have moved in my petal, but I'm just gonna live with it. And I can see how when the color starts drying, there's a beautiful granulation in this Denise green. I really love it. It's like I don't even need to add another color to create texture or interest. And the same thing, it seems it's happening with this perylene green. That's nice. When I have two elements that are the same color next to each other, one is in front and one is in the back, I tend to make the one in the back darker. But I think it's more interesting to make one of them more neutral also in color. So I'm going to keep the front leaf lighter in value. And when this is going to dry a little bit, I'm going to add maybe a touch of red. And it's going to neutralize my green even more and make it darker also. Let me try it here. So I have this red mixture, and it's a beautiful black, but I want it to be a little bit more green. I'm gonna color this back leaf. I know the camera can pick it up. Very neutralized, still has a touch of green in it. And I can go and add it where I think there's more shadow cast by the flowers. And again, this right here. I'm just very, very impressed how easily this color picks up. With no need to be wet, pre-wetted, or waiting time, or nothing. Now, quick disclaimer about this. I live in a very humid area. Not very humid, but my house, it's on a damp side. We have a dehumidifier that it's off right now, because it's right here in this room and I don't like that noise going off while I'm working in here. And I don't know how much the environmental humidity has to do with keeping your palette ready to use. It's definitely a plus in my book. These are all my leaves, just the base color put on, and I can see as this orange and yellow dries off, beautiful patterns, markings, and this beautiful mix. And I can go on, and I can spend hours adding shadows and other colors to make interesting shapes and shades. Also, another thing with drawing on these sketches is, do you stay in the lines or do you go outside the lines? Well, I given it some thought, but then I kind of do whatever happens, if that makes any sense. I just color in, and if it runs over, it runs over. If it stays in the line, I'm okay with it. I'm just enjoying the process. And the last thing I want to do in this video is to color those pink flowers that were in the background. And for that, I'm gonna use this beautiful Red Rose Deep. I have a feeling that this is the color I'm gonna run out first. It's really, really intense, very vibrant. And you can see, I don't know if it's the texture of this box, but on this particular color, on this particular square, I got a very nice puddle. The color didn't beat up as much. So let's see, just pure color straight from the pen on these pink flowers in the background. And because these are in the back, I'm probably just gonna add a little violet to make them darker and set them in the back. I try to vary my markings I make with my brushes. I try to come close to the shape that the object has. I don't go for like flat washes or gradient washes all the time. I know this is more like of a pointillist style, but I'm still learning, so bear with me. And you can see on this side of the sketch, I didn't draw the flowers that were underneath, and here I feel like I need a little bit more color right about there. And the same thing on this side. And at this point in the drawing, you can just add whatever's pleasing to the eye, so you can balance out your drawing, make it look nice. So I'm just gonna go in with this hot pink. I call it hot pink, but the real color is Red Rose Deep. And again, this is a shade that reminds me a lot, oh excuse me, of Sennelier Helios Purple, I believe. I can't wait to swatch these colors. That would be on my next video, because they're just such a joy. They're so vibrant, and I can compare with the colors I have, and it can give you an idea of what to expect when you buy this set. One thing I want to try is this DaVinci Violet, and it looks like it's very deep color. So you can see, I think it's the type of paint you use, because I'm using this violet in this particular box, and it beads up, but here for some reason it doesn't. So look how beautiful this color is, very dark. So what I'm gonna try to do is neutralize this, because I want to apply it in this area and send it kind of back in the foreground. I don't want such a bright color. But before I neutralize it, I like to add just a little bit of the actual color in my painting, because this is the color I like, not the neutralized one. But when it comes to paintings and how they read as a whole, you need those neutral colors. You need them to kind of set the background for your pretty colors to shine on. But I don't want to lose the bright color altogether, so I'm just gonna dab it just a little bit here and there. And was this the color of the flowers? The real color? I don't know. I didn't take a reference photo. It was just a sketch I did on a Sunday morning. And I'm gonna let it dry and then neutralize my purple. In the complement of the purple, we know it's yellow. And I'm thinking I want to use this gold ochre. Let's try raw sienna to neutralize it. I'm just curious. It does have a greenish tint, but you end up with almost like a beautiful mauve. I don't even know how to call it, what the name of this color is. I know I have a pencil called Caput Mortem. It's really nice. I'm just gonna put it in. Little bit here and there, kind of around my main subject. Make this a little darker. And now the last part is the tip of my flowers, this area and this area. And there's a particular color. It was a very light green, so almost like a very watered down phthalo green. But you see, phthalo green to me has a very strong blue undertone. I like the clearness of it, but not as blue. So I'm thinking if I add a little bit of this green gold, let's see what happens. So this is kind of that fresh spring green that this flower had. I'm just gonna water it down quite a lot and color this fresh stems and young stems. And I think I love this green gold. I can use it. The flowers were not as yellow. I feel like if you have too much yellow, it can look a little bit more like a mature, like a spent. It's not as fresh as the green, but if you add just a tad of this phthalo green, and now I put it a little too much, so I'm going back to my green gold to create that beautiful spring green. And I got here a paper that I was planning to sample my colors as I put them on. But as you can see, I am not much for a patient or careful painter. I just like to put color on a paper and see what happens. And I think I'm going to stop right here. I like where this painting is going. I love these colors. They promise a lot and they deliver. If you have a chance to buy them and play with them, do so. They're really, really high quality paints. I don't even know how much I can praise them anymore. But if you want more testing, playing around, come back and see my swatch video. Thank you so much.